Okay. I'm ready. Let's go.
Hey,
you guys. Welcome to another episode of the Dubbed or Sub podcast where you have myself, Kamarri, a.k.a. Watson, and I don't know. I was trying to change it up. Right?
And Lucas. That's all you get.
I almost said a.k.a. your middle name.
A.k.a. Alan.
Okay, and this week...
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks for that one. Not dumb. This week we're going over the anime Erased. And I'm just going to preface the entire episode. It is not the same as Garden of Words. This is not a bad anime. I don't even know why I'm starting like this way.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit let down because Lucas said that this anime was 10 out of 10 story-wise.
I love this anime.
And I don't know where he got that from, so I'm just kind of waiting to see where he got that from. So, do you want to do the story and then explain also what, do you want to do story, explain what my issue is, and you, dispute the issues? Excuse me. Or do you want me to do the story and then explain the issues and you dispute the story as I go along?
Are you going to be disputing the issues as you're telling the story, or are you just going to tell the story and then the issues?
I'll probably tell a story and be oh yeah, this is something in that part, so don't forget.
I like that idea.
Me telling a story?
Yeah.
Heard.
I really like this anime, guys. I just need you to know that. And I'm ready to combat, I hope, most of Kamarri's arguments here. And hopefully change his mind.
So, this anime is about a guy who can go back in time originally 2 to 5 minutes to prevent something bad from happening. Okay? So, the initial intro is them... Was it... No, it wasn't the little girl. It was the bus.
So
right?
It's called Revival. Where he notices something's wrong, and then he'll go back in time, like he said, 2 to 5 minutes into the past, and then he tries to fix whatever is wrong, normally preventing injury or death. In the first scene, he's delivering pizza, and while he's on his little bike thing, he senses it, and then he notices that there's a truck driver passed out at the wheel, essentially going to be running into a child. And he's able to stop that.
Dude was dead.
And then he proceeded to get hit by a car.
No, dude was dead.
The driver had a heart attack.
Yeah,
but then Satoru got hit by a car.
Yeah. So basically he can go back in time to prevent stuff from happening. Fast forward into the first episode, I think it was the end of the first episode. His mom ends up dying. And his mom dies in his apartment. And as he is getting to his apartment, the person who killed her is leaving. And then there's a whole, moment of him freaking out. Then the neighbor sees him. Then he's like, I can explain, but I can explain. And
he doesn't even say I can explain. He just dips.
Yeah, he just dips. And then the cops are called. And, it's basically... At this point, at the end of the first episode, he has what felt like a panic attack, and then he goes back to the fifth grade, or is he in middle school?
5th grade. He goes back to when he was 10.
So he's 10, and then it's basically him realizing that the issues with his mom dying stems from this point in time.
So basically, his mom saw someone essentially going to take a child, but they made eye contact. She recognized him, and then she connected that it was something that happened in the past that they basically got the wrong guy for, and then he silenced her.
Oh, yeah, because... Yo. So I'm gonna need to look at the photos again to see if dude
does not look like Yashiro at all, dude.
You're saying the main dude, right? That was trying to kidnap the kid, right?
Yeah, that's Yashiro.
Yeah. When he has the sunglasses and little goatee and thing.
And the hat.
Yeah, and the hat.
Yeah.
Does not look like him whatsoever. Whatsoever. Okay? The next, when the dude is leaving the house after killing the mom, straight spoilers the entire time because I need to understand why Lucas likes this anime. So here we go for you. When he is leaving the house, it looked like the teacher to me. From the first scene of me seeing the teacher, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That makes sense. It was probably the teacher. Like, cool. And then there's things that happen later that are the reason why it upset me. So he goes back in time and tries to, like, he realizes that he has to save a girl who had gotten, like, kidnapped, like, who had gotten abducted and murdered when he was a kid. And the entire show is about him trying to save this girl to save his mom, which works out.
Kind of.
The third time? Second time.
First time he goes back. Second time he goes back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he does all these things, figures out when she got abducted, tries to become her friend, everything, and saves her, but goes back into the future, or thought he saved her. Goes back into the future, finds out that it just went from, like, if it was this, it was actually the 2nd
of March,
and then got pushed back to the 3rd of March is when she died in the new timeline. So then he's in,
but she died in a different way than originally. So after he had gone back and tried to save her, she died in a different way than how she died.
How'd she die the first
previously.
time?
The first time it was the getting beaten and put into the shed. The person abducted her, sprayed her down with the water to freeze her, and then put her back. Oh wait, no. The first time she was just,
place.
Yeah, it was just in a dump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The second time it was that because that's how the reporters
found out,
talked about it.
Yeah.
So the past had been changed, just in a different way.
She just died.
She died in a different way.
So
at the hand of her parents instead of.
Not at the hand of her parents.
Yeah.
Well, like, the parents putting her in the shed isn't what killed her. It facilitated her being able to be killed, but it didn't kill her.
Beating her to the point of essentially death.
No, the dude spraying her with the chemical to freeze her is what killed her. Like, if we're being honest,
but
I see what you're saying.
It's their parents' fault.
It's the parents' fault for putting her in the shed. I can completely agree with you. What I'm saying is the parents didn't kill her. The parents were very, very shitty people, but
very close to killing her.
The person who killed her.
They're going to say the person who killed her killed her.
The person who killed her, you don't know who it is because it's super ambiguous for a very, very long time. So he goes back into the present time, and then he has a coworker who who helps him find safety because now he's trying to figure out stuff. He's reading a book.
She's 17.
Yeah. And it's just super weird. Yeah. And he also has a crush on the girl he's trying to save when he is literally a 29-year-old.
He calls himself out on that.
In a 10-year-old's body.
He goes, "You're 29."
Blushing because she's holding his hand or some that weird. So he goes back into the present time to figure out what was going on. Basically say, redo round 2, let's go. The second time, he forces himself, because usually every time that he would do the revival, you would see a butterfly. Mm-hmm. And this time, he was just forcing himself to go back in time. So that was weird. Not weird, but it was oh, okay, so you can just kind of do that? Dope.
I think there was a butterfly that showed up.
Oh. Well, yeah. All the other times it's he's just doing something and he sees it and he's oh shit, goes back in time. And this time it was go back, go back, go back. And then it popped up and he's okay, there you go. And he dipped. So he goes back a second time, is oh, I know what's going on. He kidnaps the girl so that way she doesn't get put in the shed so that way she can get, kidnapped again. He was doing a nice kidnapping. I don't know. The way that they said it was, actually really interesting. It's kind of smart. Mm-hmm. So this all is 12 episodes? 13 episodes?
12, I believe.
12 episodes, okay? This whole thing, this whole pace takes form in 8 of the episodes, right? So eventually he ends up saving the main girl that he was trying to save. And then you find out that there's 2 other girls that he's apparently has to also, or one other girl, one other guy who looks like a girl who's mistaken as a girl.
We knew about that though.
We knew about it, But the entire time, it's like, hey, I have to make sure I save this person and this person. Like, this is the person I have to save. And then you get to episode 8, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, I also have to do it with these two people. And then it, like, there was so much effort put into the first one.
So much effort put into Kaio.
That when the elementary school girl, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to stalk you for, like, half an episode, and we're going to become friends because we have a hangout. And one of the guys was, like, brave and started talking to her. So they literally saved her in an episode. Like, in, like, a full, like, 30-minute time span. It was the second end of one half, the beginning, first end of the other one, where everything was basically, like,
it is kind of explained why he was able to save her in that one episode, though.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm just saying, in, like, overall, you spend 8 episodes with one person, and then you spend, like, half of 2 episodes on one, and then, like, kind of, like, they just kind of merged in his home dude who looked like a girl.
I don't even think they talked about saving Hiromi.
They did.
I mean, they talked about it, but there was no, like, actual scenes put into it. Because it went from Kaio to Aya, I think was her name. And then I feel like there wasn't much time put into Satoru protecting Hiromi.
So when Satoru was protecting Kaio in the bus, they were making sure that Hiromi was with him. I don't remember the cool friend, whatever his name was. Kenya.
White hair?
Yeah.
Kenya.
When they were like, when he was telling Kenya about his whole plan, who's just another, there's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. There's a group of like 4-5 dudes who are all super close. Satoru is the one, like, he's back from the future. Kenya is like the cool kid of the group. Hiromi is the like the shy one that obviously genuinely thought he was a girl at first, but that's like part of the plot. And there's 2 other people who don't have like any much importance to the show.
Correct.
Except for one of them ends up becoming friends with the second girl that they're trying to save, and it's like, okay, cool, meh. And then Hiromi, when they were saving Kaio, they literally was like, Satoru told Kenya to stay with Hiromi to make sure that he doesn't go, like, he's never alone. So they just kind of like weaved his stuff into both of them. It was basically like, hey, as long as we can keep him with us while we're saving the other 2 people, we're perfectly fine. It was just, it was good until, like, you save this one person, and then it was like, oh yeah, I forgot there were 3 other murders. Let's find a way to put them here in the last, like, in 3 episodes, and you have, like, 2.5 episodes of what happened at the end of the show. Like, it was crammed.
A little. Go on.
It was crammed. So basically, he's back in time, saves all 3 of them. But in order to save all 3 of them, he ends up, like, getting tricked and giving up his own life because the abductor knows who, like, the abductor has been basically saying, hey, there's somebody who's been stopping me at every turn that I've been trying to do, and I know that it's you now. And ends up killing Satoru, or not killing him. You think that he's killing him. He puts him, like, straps him into a seatbelt, which
like, glues the seatbelt.
Bruh, dude, you haven't ever gotten out of a seatbelt
That's stuck before. You pull as much slack as you can.
And you just stand the fuck up. You just stand up, like, bruh. So, he straps him into the car, throws the car into an icy lake. He gets stuck into the car, and you think that he's dead at first, because the next scenes or episode or whatever, the beginning of it is talking about everybody being safe and happy and shit.
It's like his life flashing before his eyes.
So all this is happening, and on the 8th or the 9th episode, you find out that it is the teacher. Who, from episode 2, I was like, oh, yo, it's probably the teacher. Because there are only 2 people in this entire anime who are suspects.
And it's the older teenager and the teacher.
2 people.
Yep.
2 people. And this entire
They
time...
never really, like, address the teacher being a suspect, though.
Yeah, they don't.
They're just like, we know it's not Yuri. Who is it?
So, I'm gonna go and finish the whole explanation so I can jump back to 2 parts the 2 parts that upset me about this whole thing. So, when he finally... You find out that he didn't die. He was in a coma for, like, 15 years. His consciousness essentially gets put back into his current timeline body and wakes up. And his...
Yes. Kind of has to, like, unlock it a little bit. Because right away it's just, like, 11-year-old Satoru and however old. He's not 29 at that point because he comes back, like, 3 years before.
Yeah, he's, like, 25, 26-ish. So he gets put back into, like, a regular, like, into a more present-day body. His mom had been taking care of him for however long he was unconscious. And then you find out that, like, his friends obviously had progressed with life. And the one little boy who you thought was a girl that they were trying to save ends up with Kaio, who they were also trying to save. And the entire time, it's like a murder mystery / like love story between these two people, with Kaio and Satoru falling for each other. So when I woke up in Satoru's body, I was upset that she ended up with the best friend. I'm not mad that she continued with life and got married with somebody. Friend? Not best friend, but like one of his friends. It's one of his best friends. They're in a group of 5 people. Like, Kenya is obviously the best friend, but he is like, he's a second closest to best friend because the other 2 don't even really count. Anyways, wakes up, finds out that she's like married one of his friends, and then like, why?
Has a child.
I'm like, yo, I can understand if she got with somebody else, but why'd they have to put him with the best friend? Or well, with one of the friends? That was just off-putting for me. All I'm gonna say. You go and you proceed. He wakes up. There's a little girl that he be like in a scene and a half. There's a girl that's going into surgery that's like scared, but they're both at the same hospital. So he's like, "Hey, don't be scared. I'm your friend," essentially. And then they're like, I don't even remember what the fuck happened after that.
Like she's going into surgery, so she was terrified.
Oh, so she's going into surgery.
There's had more going on.
No, it kind of clicked, but I was going to let you finish since I've been talking pretty much all the time. But what was the name that they'd given him afterwards? Mana fucking something?
Yeah, are you talking Satoru?
No, the other guy.
Yashiro?
Yeah.
He changed his last name.
He got married.
He got married and took his wife's last name.
So it was like Mana something. It was something with an M. I remember that. So he meets him, and the dude is like not even taking care of the girl, but it's like, there's a scene where he's like, it seems like he's the caregiver. Random as fuck. And then he talks to Kenya and Hashirama, Naruto joke, sorry, about what happened when they were kids, unlocks all of his memories, and then is like, okay, I need to put this dude behind bars, basically. Can you explain the whole last scene for me? Because I'm gonna get mad.
The last scene on the rooftop?
Yeah. So after him being like, oh yeah, she's gonna die if you don't. I don't even know what the fuck he was trying to get. Like,
so the last scene, Yashiro, the teacher, wheels Satoru up to the rooftop, basically saying, like, he essentially is like, since I couldn't kill you, I can't live without you.
Mm-hmm. You're the reason why I'm alive.
You're the reason for me living. And basically says, like, I poisoned the girl going into surgery, like, she's not gonna wake up. Which is fucked, but he has a penchant for killing little girls.
But random.
Ominously, a camera angle cuts, and you see a gate open up.
I wonder what that's
gonna be for. And then Yashiro's still thinking that Satoru just doesn't know it. Satoru looks up and is like, I remember everything you've done. Mm-hmm. You son of a bitch, I think is the quote. You watched it subbed, didn't you?
I've been watching everything.
We need to start watching them the same.
Oh, why?
Because I think that's where something that I have is going to counter what you have because of how we watched it. But,
okay.
He basically was like, all right, well, if you can't live with me, or live without me, then I'm out. I'm just going to kill myself. And starts wheeling himself towards the edge. Gets to the point where he's like turned backwards, leaning off, Yashiro's like holding on to him. And I don't know if Yashiro let go or if he kicked off.
He let go.
Yeah, he let go. Satoru falls. Cuts to Yashiro. It looked like he was just getting ready to jump. But then you see Satoru's on a big-ass airbag surrounded by everyone else, and it's like, you just killed Satoru. So, what you got for that? Don't know how we didn't see this giant-ass airbag.
Unless thinking this whole time.
Unless he was, like, mid-falling and they ran out with it.
You think they got enough reaction time for that?
Maybe. I don't know how high that cliff was, or that building was.
So this is the whole rundown of the show. It's a murder mystery with not much mystery. Like, so for me, we were talking about a dude, his name is Jury, is one of his names. I don't remember what his other name was.
Who?
The older kid.
June.
So, June is, he seems like a socially awkward kid, and he's the one that's been in jail in the normal timeline for kidnapping the kids. Super dope kid, super chill, whatever, and it's like, hey, June, did you do it? And he's like, no. Okay, I believe you. But they never gave, like...
And then Satoru was like, it wasn't him, and they were like, nah, we don't believe you.
Like, literally, but in like, going through it, there was nothing that, like... that made it seem like it was him.
The only thing was that he was at the park and talked to the kids. But that's because he worked 4 a.m. to noon.
Yeah.
And did that with the rest of his day.
So
and he had, like, kitty mags in his room. Magazines.
Were they?
They weren't.
Then even more so.
But they had talked about, like, them planting that.
Yes.
Yeah. But when Satoru looked at the books, no.
So, and what I'm saying is that they showed us that he didn't have kitty mags.
Yeah.
But they talked about them planting the kitty mags even more so, which is more of a convincing for me that it's not him. So it's not June.
We all knew that it wasn't June.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
So there's one other person that it could possibly be that is an important enough male figure. The only male figure in the entire show is the teacher. They have the Kaio's mom's boyfriend, who's only there for like 2.5 scenes, so it's not as like, oh, that'd be weird if it was him. Because he wasn't there. He wasn't even there when she was gone for the week or however long that Satoru had kidnapped her. So for me, my whole thing is, it's supposed to be this super in-depth murder mystery, but there isn't any mystery to it. If you watch it, you know what's going, at least for me. And I enjoy trying to figure out what's going on in the rest of the shows and what links together, which is why I like murder mysteries or like spooky shit like that or whatever can be rewatched when it's like, oh, this is what it is. That makes so much sense. For me, what killed it was Satoru and his mom are buying groceries, or his mom's buying groceries. He runs into his mom and they start walking, but the teacher drives by and gives them a ride home. They're sitting in the car. Satoru, sitting in the passenger seat, opens the glove box. I don't remember why.
I think it was like a piece of paper or something.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so he pulled the piece of paper, which opened the glove box, and just tons of like suckers and candy and stuff falls out. So it's like, this is creepy.
Yo, I saw that and I was like, I think it might be Ashiro.
Are you being sarcastic?
I knew that it was gonna end up being the teacher, but that was like, there's no hiding it anymore.
So they do that, and he's like, oh, well, I stopped smoking recently, so this is what I do, and he shoves like 3 suckers into his mouth. And it's like, okay, I can see that. It seemed like it was a bunch of like just short end, like, oh, it's him, but no, it's not him.
A lot of different red herrings.
And none of them were like overarching red herrings that lasted the entire show. They were just simple scenes that were like, oh, it's him, but it's not him. Oh, it's him, but it's not him. Whatever. Another thing for me was that he was like, all the girls were in love with him. Like the students were just like in love with them. And I was like, that's weird. Like that's a weird feature to put into a show when he's the only like the only person that would be sensible enough to be the person. I'm like, oh, he gets the girls to love him and then kidnaps him and kills him. Like, not really a big surprise. So, the one that I'm assuming that you've been waiting for is the point that I probably is going to make a difference if it's in English. So, there is a list.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Satoru goes back, talks to his mom. So, his mom used to be not a reporter, a
journalist.
Journalist, there we go. Different words. For me, reporter is, oh, what's the weather? Journalist is like, what's the scoop?
Okay.
You can, like, you can.
I understand. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so his mom's a journalist, and she has a friend who is also a journalist.
Sawada, I think.
Maybe. And she finds out that there's like she knows who it is. She has like a paper because of like whatever. And when Satoru comes back the first time, he meets this dude and is talking to him. Sawada is what you said?
I think so.
Sawada gives him like access to the reports throughout the years of that case, and there's a list of like 5 names, right? Mm-hmm. It was June
and his father.
His father.
There were 2 more, which were listed. Mm-hmm. It only listed the 4 names. So
his father, Yashiro's like. I'm assuming it wasn't his new name?
Yashiro wasn't on that list.
Oh, then what the...
So, that was the final list of suspects. In episode 6, it shows this final list of suspects, and it says... Because he still kept the name Yashiro, didn't he?
No, he never talked about it. He never... Okay, he said later that Yashiro was on the list, but I completely disregarded it because he was the teacher and I trusted him. But that was never conveyed that he was on the list to anybody watching in sub.
So okay. In the first episode with the list, there are 5 names, and he doesn't recognize any of them other than June and his father. In episode 10, when it brings up the list that you're referring to, at least in the English translation, it says... Yashiro was on one of Sawada's lists, but so was his mother. If Yashiro's it was the same list... No. Satoru's mother. It says that Yashiro and Satoru's mom were on the list. So, if that was the case in episode 6, he would have recognized his mom's name. In episode 6, there is like an underlined title on the final list of... suspects, but in episode 10 there's a list of like 7 people, and it addresses the fact that Yashiro was removed, and it's because if the MO of the kidnapper was to take little girls, why would Yashiro, a teacher in a position where he knew that Hiromi was not a girl, why would he be the MO? Or why would that be his MO? So he was taken off the list because he knew that Hiromi was a boy.
Okay.
And it also he wasn't on the final list of suspects. He was on one of the suspects list, but so was Satoru's mom.
So, my thing, they never said that. Like, for me, it seemed like okay. Plot twists. Alright? What?
No, I just go on.
Plot twists. Plot twists can either be really good or they can be really cheap. If you think of The Sixth Sense, I See Dead People is a very, very pivotal and big plot twist, and it changed the way that you retroactively look at the entire movie. It makes watching it a second time better. Alright? Can we agree? Have you never seen Sixth Sense? Are you fucking me right now?
So... I know this has not been addressed really on this podcast. I don't watch movies. And I don't know why he keeps giving me this reaction whenever he references a movie, because he's known this for the past 2.5 years that I don't like movies.
Plot twist is a cultural and historical icon. Okay, so... Do you know...
Vader being Luke's father. Go on.
You know the term...
I know dead people.
I see dead people. Yeah. Okay, so did you know that was a thing in The Sixth Sense,
I
right?
didn't know that was the movie, but
Okay,
that
we're
was a
gonna
plot
watch.
twist.
We're gonna watch Sixth Sense now.
You say that.
We're gonna watch Sixth Sense. We're probably gonna watch it tomorrow because fuck you. For everyone else who's watched The Sixth Sense and understands this historical cultural icon, when you rewatch the movie a second time, it changes your perspective of knowing what's going on, and it's a plot twist, but it makes watching it a second time a different experience. It makes it better and more enjoyable. Or I wouldn't say more enjoyable. It makes it different because, like, oh, these things make sense. He's talking to these people. He's saying these things. Whatever. This one was essentially episode 11 is when he was like, oh yeah, I saw him on the list, but I 10. Episode 10, it's like, oh yeah, no, he was on the list, but I disregarded it, which is a plot twist because, like, oh, he was there the entire time, but we weren't aware to that. If it was able to, like, explain that and be like, oh yeah, if it even went in the show in, like, episode 6 and it named off all the names, like, these are the people, then it would make it a little bit different because now you have more suspects and you know the full list of who all could it be, and they can play off of that better as compared to just getting to the end and be like, oh yeah, he was there, you just didn't know.
So you are going to hate me when I say this sentence. I do genuinely believe we should watch the live-action version of it because it does follow the manga more closely than the anime. In that Kaio, when she was saved from her mom, didn't transfer to a different school, which is how she was able to be with Hiromi.
Okay. Just knowing that doesn't make that whole situation better for me.
But it fixes some of the stuff. So I assume the list would be fixed as well.
Okay.
So I think we should try watching the live action at some point.
I'll give you that. I'm still saying that the anime
because I want to know
trash.
what the fucking bridge explosion scene is.
Jesus
Yo,
Christ.
look up the trailer for the live action Erased. Especially after you've watched the animated Erased, because what the fuck? What?
You guys,
What?
I had high hopes for this anime. Lucas was like, yo, this is a 10 out of 10. I'm like, yo, this is going to be awesome. Woo-doo-woo-doo-woo. And, like, it's not even like it was bad. It's just so, like, it has such a good start. And it's basically running a 200-meter dash and getting gassed at the 100-meter mark and jogging the last 100 meters. It literally was just... It was so uncompelling and uninteresting at the very end. That's you, bro. That's you. I physically can't even say anything else about the entire anime because there's nothing nothing good.
I think if you were to go and watch it and try and just look at it from Satoru's perspective, they do a very good job at maintaining the who the hell is it?
No, they don't, because they left a very big portion of his perspective out of the thing, because there's two different perspectives. There's, oh, hey, I'm watching this anime, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because there aren't many scenes where Satoru isn't in the scene. You don't see stuff happening behind where you're like, oh, I know this, but he doesn't. It's not like Promised Neverland, where there are a bunch of different kind of perspectives going on. This one is Satoru is in nearly every single scene because this is from his perspective, but there is something that I feel is pretty important, like as a plot twist portion of the anime, where we don't see his perspective. It's literally them saying like, hey, here's this, but I'm gonna cover this so you don't know what the ending is. It took away the chance.
Are you talking about the list still?
Yeah. All I'm gonna say, if anything, in the Japanese version or in the sub version, it probably said what his like the new name was, but even then they didn't explain that until later, which makes still.
But his new name would not have mattered at that point in time.
True.
Then they would have had Yashiro on the list.
Yeah.
And he would know that Yashiro is his teacher. He didn't recognize Yashiro as a name from that list.
Okay. So are you saying that he wasn't on the list?
He wasn't on the list in episode 6.
So he was just on the list on... Wait, that...
Because it wasn't... The episode... or the first list that they show is the final list of suspects.
Okay. So
and Yashiro and Satoru's mom were removed from the overall suspect list. They were removed.
Okay.
Because he says in episode 6, the only names on this list that I recognize are Jun and his father.
Yes.
Don't you think he would have recognized his own mom's name if that had been the same list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's a different list. So
It is
then
a
even
different
worse,
list.
they changed the list.
I do wonder how what the actual like translation is, because I want to know if it says it was on one of Sawada's lists, like it does in the English vocalization. Because the subtitles remain the same in English or Japanese, and in the subtitles they do say on the list.
Yeah, Yashiro was on one of the lists.
Yes.
So if you're because
But he was removed due to lack of evidence.
Okay, so he's not on the first list. Neither is his mom. So you just have June and the dad, who they don't like. Basically, what I'm saying is they didn't give you enough leads on anyone to make it any important at all. They tried to take everything away from it being Yashiro to then say, "Hey, hi, it was Yashiro." Like, here are all the things, but we're gonna prove all of them wrong. But surprise, it was him the entire time. So that's where my issue comes from.
I don't think that it's meant to be like a... I don't think we as the viewer are meant to not know that it's Yashiro.
Then it's not a murder mystery.
I mean, it's not necessarily for us. It's not necessarily a mystery. It's more of a thriller.
So if we're supposed to watch it...
If we know who the bad guy is, but the main character does not, it gives us as a viewer more sense of anxiety.
You really believe that?
Yes.
Heard. I'm going to rewatch episodes 6 and 10, I guess, to find this list. Or just watch whatever YouTube video that Lucas watched.
Oh, no, I went back into Netflix and watched this shit.
We also watched the YouTube videos.
I did watch some on certain things.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can go ahead and grade this one.
Opening music / sound design. Average.
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
It's like a 5.
No, actually, lie. The closer was better.
The closer was
a lot better.
Slapped
Closer
over
was a lot better.
The intro.
They should have swapped those.
I liked the opening sequence. Mm-hmm. The song just didn't do it justice.
Yeah, the animation was dope.
Yeah,
but
with the black and white, them sitting in the theater, very different. Oh, it's a nice
as
sequence.
An adult, him as a kid. Yeah, no, it was pretty dope. So,
I was gonna say a 5. Because remember, it's overall music, sound design, including closer, not just opening now.
Yeah.
5.
4. I don't feel like I missed anything. Like, there was nothing that made me want to not skip the opener.
No.
There was nothing that
No,
made me
I skipped the intro most of the time.
The music wasn't, like, throughout the entire show, wasn't very...
It wasn't based on sound.
It was very... Watch Haikyuu, and music is very, very impactful for how it goes. Watch, obviously, Your Lie in April, extremely impactful for how it goes. This one, it was like, music was just kind of in the background, so that way it wasn't quiet. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. So for me, it's a 4.
Visuals, it's average.
It had a little quirk. I liked how when it was back in time, it had the theater type view.
I liked doing, yeah.
That was dope. There's a lot of cinematic
movie references.
Yeah, movie
like
references.
Even the opening sequence is them sitting down in a movie theater, and it like flashes on, and then the episode starts. When he's like putting pieces together, it's tapes of film reel like stitching together and flying across the screen.
So there's that. I would say that in the past looked better than it did in the present time. Like, the animation of the past was better than the animation of the present.
I can see that.
So, I don't know, 5?
Yeah, I'm going to go to 5.
It was very, very average.
Nothing too flashy about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like Fire Force or anything. Shit,
fucking break dancing.
Jesus Christ. Story. Are you seriously giving it a 10?
I am going to give it a 9. I know Kamarri's going to break my heart. It's not even going to break my heart because I know it's coming, so... Wait. Can I play the high or low game?
Sure.
Then 5, we're going to say lower.
Okay. Yeah, then you're right. I was gonna give it a 4, dude.
Damn.
Like, genuinely, I'm thinking of this as as a murder mystery.
You're gonna tell me you're not even gonna get this is below a 15 for you?
I will never watch this show again, and I would never recommend it for anybody.
What?
Yeah, I would recommend Devilman Crybaby over this show.
All right, well, thanks for coming.
No, we're not done here. We're not done here. In aspects of pacing, it started off really good. Episode 6, it breaks down, and everything else is just jammed into the very end. Like, the very end. There's nothing, they don't give you time to figure out or care about the second girl that died. The only reason why you care about the boy is because he's been in the entire show. The ending was stupid. I saved you because I can't live without you, but I'm going to let you go and die. Because why? He's literally holding him on the edge of the building, but can't see the people on the floor. Why? The list. Why? There's so many things. I'm just like, I need water. I'm yelling too much. Jesus Christ. No. I would never recommend this show for literally anybody.
That. Okay, wow. All right, so I at least mine got a 19. Kamarri over here
14.
busting out.
14, barely.
4, 4, and a 5?
Oh, I gave it a 4? Oh, yeah.
You gave it
13,
a 13.
baby. 13.
Fucking 13. Okay.
Dude, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need to sit down. I'm gonna need to watch the live action, the anime, read the mangas. I'm gonna need to know that one version of this story was done better than what the anime was. Because I feel like this is one of the things where it just got completely destroyed.
I do want to change my score actually on visuals.
The snow looked nice.
Snow, the use of the color red to indicate that something bad is about to happen is pretty nice as well.
Was that serious?
It's if
the red eyes.
So if red eyes, yes, but if there was a character dressed in red, normally there was something like warm or comforting about them. If there was an object that was red, then it indicated that something bad was going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give that a 6 for visuals. Bump it up to a 20. You don't have to change shit.
I don't know what, I can't, I'd be lying to you guys, and I understand and respect that Lucas really likes his anime. I understand all that.
I didn't realize that you liked it this little.
I probably wouldn't have started on my own. I probably would have gotten through a decent portion of it and would have been like, okay, where's this going to go? And I don't know if I would have finished it and told anybody about it in this is dope type of way. It would have been like, yo, this was a letdown. Me and Sierra watched this all in one night. We watched the whole thing in one night. So it's not even for me that it was I was anticipating or I was forgetting stuff I sat down and watched the whole thing. It was basically a movie for me. And it just was not the business. It just I wanted it to be better. And it's probably because, like you said, it's not meant to come off as a murder mystery. Maybe. But that's kind of what it was projected as. Everything was mysterious and murdery about the entire show. So as what I feel like the show was trying to portray and project, I think it didn't hit the mark.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Huh? I'm gonna be sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna differ on some opinions. Mostly. Do you guys like your ramen?
Go. Just go.
I heard him. I put him out of commission. Well, if you like your ramen, or if you like ramen soda, or even Japanese Kit Kats, you should check out Ramen on the Block. That's BLOC.com. head on over there. Check out some of their fantastic imported and genuine ramen selection. I'm just still so on you, fucking. I'm a little upset.
You say you're a little upset?
A little upset. They are okay. So Ramen on the Block. They are a local friend of ours who has so generously let us be affiliated with them. If you go to their website and use the promo code DOS at checkout, you get 10% off your entire cart. If you spend over $50 as of time of recording, you will get free shipping on your order. So go check out some. What was the hot cheese ramen?
Hot cheese ramen.
It's so goddamn spicy, and I know we've talked about it before, but go give it a shot.
Yo.
Please.
No.
Let us know how it is. It's so goddamn good.
I messed with spice in that.
Yo.
Yeah, that was hot. Not even gonna lie.
But thank you, Ramen on the Block.
Click the Discord link.
Description below.
Yeah. I got my.
I mean,
You gonna cry? You okay?
it's okay.
You need a hug?
No. We'll check you guys next week.
Take it easy, you guys.